high tariff rates that Nigerians are being subject to. Now, what do you think? I don't know how to. Is the federal government actually taking into cognizance the plight of helpless Nigerians? Because this is also coming on the basis of the fact that they are saying that they are now getting so much from revenue, from tax revenue, and state government actually are even getting more allocations now. But what about the Nigerians that are suffering it?
Right. I want to talk about Nigerians that are suffering this.
Now caught in the
Right. The fact is that if you look at this government, they are revenue conscious, and they are not looking at people's plight now
situation.
because government has more money.
Yes,
Why individual
are
have
suffering.
are suffering? We don't have our purchasing power is low. We
It's
don't have more
very,
income. We
very
don't have
low.
more
Very,
means.
very
So
low.
I think government should have human face. In as much as we want Nigeria to develop, VK is building beautiful road. What about the human? So you must start to think about human that will apply the road because if they are not feeding well, they're not getting good income, and the street is beautiful. What is that mean? So we must look at human capital development. And what will bring about human capital development is to feed well. Federal government staff are the one that will work, right? And people that will work are living with kwashoko, and you are living like everything is looking beautiful. Perhaps, and this National Assembly also, they don't have that pity for people because if you ask me, you are buying SUV of 160 million,
160
your
million.
salary is not reducing, everything is going well, but other people purchasing power are getting depleted every day. So I
Every
think
day.
Tinubu really need to, for me, I think Labour, their call to action, it's a welcoming one. It will make the federal government to also rethink, look at how to really deal with it because it's a big issue and it affects virtually everyone. So I think they should go back to the negotiation table. But now Labour has used their own hammer, you know. So government should now also come on board and actually because I know government also will go do beyond 60,000. They
Of
just want
course,
Labour
we
to
want to,
also
yes,
express them
to also express
because it's
themselves.
reality that we can only manage 150,000 as minimum wage.
All right, thank you so much. Now, be that as it may, Nigeria, we are still basking in a 1 year anniversary of the inauguration of this present administration. And the paper today has it that anxiety, talking about Vanguard newspaper, anxiety as federal government borrows 20.1 trillion naira on that Tinubu is coming within this 1 year in office.
Right. If you ask me, I think borrowing is not a bad thing because we are looking at debt to GDP, and we also always before now always look debt to revenue. But now we have more revenue. But the only thing is that what are you borrowing for, and why should you borrow when you have much more money
Money coming
coming?
in.
First subsidy has given you more money. You have increased import duty. You know, you have also stopped giving people forex. You know, because, it's now willing buyer, willing seller. So I think we have more money. So there's no need for us to still go ahead to uh, go borrowing because it's going to subject us to a lot of things. Like the coastal road they said they are doing is
Yes, I
PPP.
will
So maybe they
understand.
should go into PPP for most of their projects. If I'm President Tinubu, I'll say next 2 years I will not borrow. You know, if you don't borrow for next 2 years, we would have seen what you can achieve with what you have. Because for now, federal government, state government are getting more money. There
More
is no
money
need for them to
like they
borrow.
borrowing. Now talking about customs rate and all those stuff. You know the committee did say that peg it at 800 naira to dollar for import waiver. Fiscal policy and tax reforms. That's what the leading story on Vanguard, sorry, the Guardian says today. Fiscal policy and tax reforms. New national tax template excites private sector on settled states.
What when they gave
They pegged it at
Taiwo
800 naira per dollar.
right? So when they gave Taiwo Ayodele to be the chairman on tax, I was so excited because it's coming from a pure private sector. Maybe you work with
Okay.
is he copper, what have you. So
Taiwo
now
Oyedele.
I think his template is what we have to interrogate.
But are they going to accept it?
That's the
Because states
question
keep.
now. You know why? The challenge now is that is going to kill double taxation.
Yes.
Because if you look at let's look at telcos. Telcos will pay for local government, they pay for state, they still pay for
For
federal
federal.
government, you know. And they have to service their template. So it becomes a serious problem. So for me, I think state governments are going to really fight hard to make sure because Tinubu understand part of taxation. And if you look at Tinubu's strength, is on tax.
Yes.
His strength is on generating
More
revenue. So state will want to ask for more, and he will say state you are also getting more at this point in time. So we want to look at how they are going to strike the balance. But I knew that Ayodele wouldn't do something that will jeopardize the effort of the private sectors,
Exactly.
because you know why? Ideally, we are supposed to do progressive taxation.
Mm.
The more you earn, the
The
more
more
you
you pay.
pay. Not that you keep on stifling people,
Mm.
give people challenges. So for me, I think it's a challenge, a serious challenge, and pegging of it is even uncalled for. And that's why I have issue with monetary policy and our
Fiscal
fiscal
policy.
policies, simply because they are working at cross purposes. Because the monetary policy is trying hard to really make things work.
Mm.
The fiscal policy is bringing it down,
Yeah.
especially the custom. Now,
But however,
the
the customs
Wale
or import
Edun,
rate has also been too high. That is why we are
that's the
still having
problem.
this
That's the problem. And Wale
inflationary
Edun is now
regime.
also saying that he's going to cheer people that will look at inflation. I mean, NPR by himself.
Mm.
It's not uncalled for. You are a coordinator minister
So you
of the
cannot
economy.
do.
There is no need for you to do that. Do this thing underground. It's not our business. Why do you want to consider another committee when we have a substantive CBN governor? It's just uncalled for. So for me, they should just let their case not be like a case of the Emefiele and the minister of finance. When Emefiele is changing the money naira,
The
the woman
Minister of
said,
Finance said she was not aware.
I'm not. Is Wale Edo saying he's not aware of the what they increase? Because I knew that every minister of finance always have representative in CBN at
Yes.
every committee meeting. So what is his own representative doing in that meeting?
That is what they're doing.
Yes.
Yes, it's something. So at the end of the day, what are your premonitions or calculations about these templates, these new national tax templates?
Well, the thing is this: if it's good for private sector and
Mm.
it's good for federal government, states also will have to manage it like that, and they should be ready to go to court, because that will be the end of it by the time the president wants to implement this new tax. But
Mm.
I'm sure that even state government would have people in the tax that will actually look at it the way. So I want a win-win situation: win for the state, win for the federal government, and win for the ultimate people who are the
Okay.
private
Sector.
sector.
All right, thank you so much. With that, let's move to okay. Before we discuss business, I still want to talk about this onslaught on journalists. It has continued to raise outcry from media owners, and that it negates the principle of press freedom. What are your thoughts on this? Because it's something that has continued to trend over time. From one journalist to the other, there has been a clampdown, especially by the security operatives in the country. And of course, this has not even been able to generate even a remark from the president. President himself, who is reputed to be also a media owner.
Right. I think on the day of last press day
Mm.
recently done, I listened to people's conversation. I discovered that the onslaught is major focus, but it's quite appalling that we'll have a minister of information
Mm.
who is a media house
Owner.
owner who understand how it actually operates, to allow this to continue.
Mm.
And it's going to be a damage on the present president of Nigeria, Tinubu, because
He
if you
himself is also a media
yes,
owner.
if you kept looking, no, now he's a president. People think the way where people are where people think now. He's not thinking like a media owner. Now. He's thinking like president of
The country.
Nigeria. So for me, this will damage the reputation of this president if people continue to be attacking, because that is just the last resort for common man. This is where we get information. And there is this POI, Freedom of Information Bill, FOI. I think that is enough. So if you have any issues with any journalist who carried information that is not, go to court.
Go to court.
Go
Yes,
to
they go
court,
to
sue
court.
that person, and court will justify that, because no news that will come out. There's an element they must have gotten their information of someone, because you are a military man, because you have a position, you want to harass people that actually want to bring about news for people's consumption. So I think it's a big issue that President Tinubu need to actually step on.
All right, thank you so much. We are looking at national economy, staple of leadership newspaper. And this week they're writing on Nigeria's blue economy, poor IT investment, others stifle 7 trillion naira maritime potential as ship owners decry yearly 1 trillion naira loss due to inadequate infrastructure. What are we actually targeting in Nigeria's blue economy? Because nothing much has been heard from that
Well,
sector.
if you ask me from this perspective of this news, is more of NPA. Yes, Nigeria Port Authority. That's what this news
This
is for, and that's why we need to be careful. Is that why they actually give blue economy, NPA to blue economy? Because for me, while they are separating it, I do not want NPA to come to blue economy, so that they will know that they have to work. There's a lot of money here. This is enough for a ministry. Nigeria Port Authority is enough for a ministry to survive. So, but if you take it away from them, maybe it goes to transport.
Okay.
Let them do the actual job of blue economy, which you have to tap all other
But
sources.
you know,
But I agree,
mm,
a Nigerian problem is always infrastructure, because you know why? We are not proactive. We are only relying on people's
yes,
technology. We are not looking at
technology.
how to solve our own
Same thing
immediate
that
problem.
NNPC is also battling with, because they are relying on their
Oh, that's what I'm saying. Exactly.
investors.
Investors, and that's what bring about oil theft up to this level, because
Yes.
you'll be looking and be expecting somebody to come and solve your problem.
Yes.
Meanwhile, you're supposed to even create that enabling environment for them to thrive. So for me, for blue economy, it's a new ministry, so I expect them beyond
But
NPA.
this blue
what
economy
other things
that
are they
Nigerians
actually doing?
are just so much with so much expectations. Somebody broke it down that it just boils down to fishes. How true is that?
Well, the fact,
Somebody said it's
no,
all
no, no.
about
I
health
don't
in the
think
ocean.
it's only that. Even the coastal road, I think, is part of it. There are other businesses that is need to do with that place. A lot of thing there. You know why? Even our employment, that place should have employed a lot of Nigerians if it is well tapped. There's a lot of business on the ocean that we can actually tap. Some country, that's what they actually relied on. A country like Belgium, Antwerp, for instance, that's what they do. They do logistics, and that's why they're like logistic hub of the whole world. So we can look at that direction and create our business alongside our sea and oceans.
Alright. So what is the way forward?
Well, the way forward for them is to think out of the box, because I've not seen the new innovation, the new dimension, what blue economy is actually bringing.
Is it overhyped?
Well, that's why I said I think giving NPA to them is a serious issue. It wouldn't allow us to see what they're actually doing. NPA is enough as a job. You understand? So if they give them if they allow them to show others presentation, because I was even watching out for his presentation during the KPI. Let's look at what he has been doing, but it's only about NPA. So NPA has been there before now. So let them bring other businesses into it.
Thank you so much. This is about it on today's edition of your program Inside Nigeria. I've had the pleasure of having company with me in the studio. Is a political economist, public affairs analyst, and Leo Lyons. Thank you so much once again.
Thank you for having me.
Pleasure. Well, viewers, this is where we draw the curtain on today's program. Don't forget to join us same time, same station tomorrow. Meanwhile, there's a full day of programming today. Join us for news on the hour. My name is Winifred Godot. See you. Bye.
Thank you for watching. For sponsorship and advert placements, please contact 080-3688-6158. Last Word Leadership Podcast Studio. You have the last word.